This video will explore the locations and timelines of the story of Aaron West, from the start of We Don't Have Each Other through the EP Bittersweet, and while I'm going to include specifics, they are rough estimates, based on my interpretations of these songs, and as such should be treated as a guide and not as fact. The Aaron West in the Roaring Twenties name was born with a song called Borrowed Chords on the Love Is Hopeless sampler from Hopeless Records in 2011. And while there is very little in this song that directly contradicts canon, it is not considered canonical. It's a decent flavour text if you're into that, but don't read too much into it. The first album also contains a cover, Going to Georgia. Originally by the Mountain Goats, this is for obvious reasons not canon either. Since Bittersweet, AW20 have released a single called Orchard Park and an album called Routine Maintenance. I will discuss these, but in a later video. Make sure you subscribe with notifications on so you don't miss it. All of that out of the way, let's get into it. Our story starts in Brooklyn, with Aaron sitting in his apartment that he used to share with his wife Diane. Based on later events referenced in these songs, this is set somewhere around January 2013. Diane's left Aaron a note explaining why she can't be with him anymore, so Aaron has a meeting with her sister, who explains that she's been calling lawyers for a divorce. He spends some nights alone on his couch, because he can't stand sleeping in their bed without Diane. While reading the note over again, he breaks his cell phone and punches a hole in the wall, while thinking about the argument between them before she left. Grapefruit gives us some background on just why Diane has given up on her relationship with Aaron, explaining that the couple had recently suffered a miscarriage and losing the baby hit Aaron hard. Likely hit Diane just as hard too, although of course, we don't get her side of all of this. We pick up the story as Aaron's taking a walk to the Long Island Railroad station, going out to the island to go see his mother. Her house is decorated with a lot of Catholic imagery, so we can assume Aaron was raised Catholic too. There's also a car hidden under covers outside, as we find out that Aaron's dad died not too long before he and Diane lost the baby, and that car is his dad's. Following his mother's advice, Aaron takes the keys to his dad's 1967 Ford Mustang, painted in cherry red, and drives off out of New York and turns south. Once he hits I-95, he turns towards the state's border, heading nowhere but south, sleeping in his car, freezing cold this time of year, with a broken heater. Aaron ends up finding a lonely phone booth at a southern truck stop, decides to call back north, see if Diane won't just answer. I doubt this is the first call like this he made. He says on that call that he'll stay in that phone booth all night, waiting. Just waiting. Months pass as Aaron stays in a motel called the Thunderbird Inn off of I-95, the highway he's driven all the way into the deep south. Likely in South Carolina, the Thunderbird provides Aaron West refuge, at least until he goes broke and has to run away without paying in the early hours of the morning. After running away from the Thunderbird, Aaron West starts to hit rock bottom. At the back end of the first album, these last three songs have him questioning his faith, in this case, sitting outside in his dad's car, out front of St. Mary's Church in South Carolina, watching people leave after evening mass. He couldn't bear to go inside. The light reflecting off of the stained glass window, falling short of where his car is parked. Aaron thinks about his relationship with Diane, how it all started, what went wrong, and for once, starts to think that the blame might not be entirely on him, and while he's no saint, she ain't one either. He also thinks about his dad, after finding the hat his dad had given him, emblazoned with the logo of the Bills, his dad's favourite team. He thinks about how much his dad meant to him when he was growing up, and if what Aaron had become is at all what his father would have pictured when he was alive. Unaware of where he'd driven the night before, Aaron finds himself parked up along the shoreline of the Atlantic Ocean, on the coast of Carolina, for the last song on the original album. Contemplating everything that's happened to him as he walks barefoot across the parking lot, down the beach, and into the shallow waves. He says he dreamt the night before of drowning in the ocean. And he thinks about that, standing in the water, staring out at an empty sky, an endless sea. Unlike We Don't Have Each Other, Bittersweet, as the name suggests, isn't quite recovery, but it's a start on that road. We pick up the story on Bittersweet, while Aaron is still down south, having run out of money, spending it on staying in the Thunderbird, fuel for the Mustang, and liquor at bars. He posts an ad in the local paper, and tries to fund his trip back north, and his debts, by selling his dad's car. He meets a man named Robert, who used to have a similar car when he was a young man, and Aaron decides to sell him the car, even though he's not quite got the asking price. Goodbye Carolina Blues follows directly on from the sale, with Aaron taking the bus all the way back up to Manhattan Island, leaving behind the memories of nearly losing his life in the Atlantic Ocean in South Carolina. After arriving at the Port Authority bus terminal, he grabs a bad cup of coffee and heads out to his old home in Brooklyn, enters the building that he and Diane used to live in together, to see a sign telling him that the elevator is broken as he takes the stairs. After trying to unlock the door with his key, finding the lock has been changed, he knocks on the door and finds a college-age man who tells Aaron that he's never even heard of him, and that he only moved in last month after subletting the place from Diane. Aaron is invited in, spots the old couch he spent so many nights on, finds his winter coat, and leaves. In this, the final song I'll cover in this video, Aaron rides the G train out to Rockaway, a peninsula out in Queens, that was hit badly by Hurricane Sandy in late 2012. Only last year when this song is set. In this beach town, storm-damaged and waterlogged, Aaron West sees a reflection of himself. Like there's a road to recovery, but you can only get better once you're at your lowest. Aaron West's journey so far hasn't been a happy one, but we can see that starting to turn around. He's come back up north after falling all the way down south. As I'll cover in the second part of this series, the tides do start to shift, but at this point, Aaron's hopeful, even if the world's not shown him much of a reason to be. Thanks so much for watching, I hope you've enjoyed it. Projects like this one take well over 100 hours of work to research, write, animate and edit. Please consider donating to me on Patreon so I can continue to make projects like this one. Of course you can also buy a shirt, that really helps out. Although, just watching, liking, commenting and subscribing is plenty already. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.